Okay, so I'm going to leave that on. Is that? Yeah, that's fine. Why is it upside down? Okay. I think that one will be fine there. What does the audio waves look like when I'm over here? Focus groups.
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright, cool.
In close voice.
Okay, so we're back for the evaluation focus group for PACH speakers. So you two were here the first time. We've got a significantly shorter group. So if you'd like to list off your names and your ages, please.
Chloe, do I have to say my last name?
Yes.
Okay. Chloe Pointing, and I'm 17.
Emma Furlong, and I'm 17.
Okay, fantastic. So that's 2 compared to, I think, the 7 we had last time, but we'll do with what we can. So you'll probably recognise this presentation, which is the one I showed you the first time. So I'm just going to quickly take you through again what you've seen to jog your memory and remind you what we were looking at. So our idea was a speaker, and the unique selling point of this speaker was almost like you'd have the cases on a phone, that you could buy alternate cases and skins for the speaker, and you could make it unique in your own right. You could make it what you wanted to do. So we went through this, and we started to make different logo designs. We started to build the brand around this idea that we created, and we came up eventually with PACH, and then we started to design these logos for it. For example, that first one there, which is the main company logo, which is including all of the letters into one big P for the PACH symbol. And then we had the evolution of the different phases of the logo coming through to the main ones we use, such as these ones here. So these are the final designs essentially for our logos that we've used throughout our projects. And then we started to move into what we would actually make our marketing campaign with. So we were thinking we do something along the lines of the Apocalypse for the sponsor advert, and we'd sponsor Sky One's You Me and the Apocalypse as a TV programme, because we thought that would be very interesting to incorporate into a speaker advert. As well as that, we'd have the main advert that would just depict this speaker in various different scenes that involve different casings and different skins, so that we can show and put across the different uses it has and really sell it to the audience. And we came up here, there was a few different songs that we wanted to use. So these were mainly for the sponsor advert. So we would have the Flash opening theme, which was the idea of a very fast, very high octane, quite tense music, and then the same with Nero Doomsday, which was more of a dubstep track, really. So we did go on to film that. We did go on to film that advert. But the issue we found with that was once we'd actually recorded it, and I came to edit it, I realised we'd shot a short film rather than an advert. And that was a huge problem. We were thinking we couldn't continue with what we've done because it just doesn't match anything currently out in industry and the market. It's not reminiscent of anything seen. It would work as a short film, but it would not work as an advert, which is what we were trying to aim for. So we decided that we'd go back and we'd look again at the conventions of the speaker adverts that we've seen, because evidently there was something not right with the way we'd done it. So we needed to go back and take inspiration again. So what we did was we all took a different speaker advert and we took down the essentials about it. Its visuals, its contents, its theme, the music soundtrack behind it, and how it showed off its speaker. So you might have the wrong one there. You might have the wrong copy of the PowerPoint. But you know, from there you can take the idea of, we took a bunch of different adverts, and then after that, me and Owen sat down and we cross-referenced all of these adverts, and we looked at what was the most prominent themes, what was the most prominent visuals, what seemed to be the most common themes throughout. And we decided we wanted to take a comedy route, because we think that's something that had been seen in speaker adverts before. I would show you, it seems I had the wrong PowerPoint there, but there was an advert that features a squirrel in a tree for a speaker advert, and a little rave inside a tree. It was quite amusing.
Oh, right, okay.
And we thought, you very often see the artistic side to speaker adverts, where it's this big grand display of lights and sounds. We thought it would maybe be more interesting and more targeted towards our age demographic if we did something to do with comedy. And we developed the ideas that we already had from what you'd given us and what we'd worked on. We still had the sponsor advert sponsoring You Me and the Apocalypse on Sky One, and we still did the main advert with different shots of showing how the speaker would be used. So I've got this Word document here which shows the ideas we went through. So this was basically the draft for how we were going to shoot this. It included the sponsor ad, which I wrote first actually, and the main advert. So there's a couple of things in here that we couldn't make through, which was, one of them was having a flotation kind of a flotation casing for the speaker. So we were thinking about using it for a pool to start with, but then we had to think realistically, we won't have a pool. So we were thinking, what if we did it in the bath? We staged a very bubbly bath scene, try to shoot as little as possible so that it was still acceptable as such. But, when it came to the times we had, it just wasn't enough time to shoot it. And another one, with the bike scene, we wanted to have it filmed from a moving car. But again, availability, it prevented us from doing so. So we had to work with what we did have. So what I will show you is I put together a couple of clips from the original advert that we didn't go through with. I've a sequence of shots, just a show reel, to show you what it maybe would have looked like. So that's under. It is under. Is it in? Nope. Right. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is just a small show reel of clips, not in order, so it's not coherent in terms of plot, but it's just an idea of the shots we made for this. Yeah.
What's that? I got it! It's been 15 minutes since.
That was an exemplar of shots, so even that was long in itself, and that's just, a preview of what it would look like. So this thing would have been maybe up to 3 minutes long, which is ridiculous for, an arable advert on television. It's not likely to have been used. So that's when we took it, developed it, and made it into our final advert. So, as I said about the comedy side, we wanted to make a mascot, a recognisable mascot for our work. So we created that in the form of a costume as a person. So we wanted to go with this kind of a 70s aesthetic, kind of cop drama, awkward, greasy looking. It was a very strange kind of combination of thoughts, but I think it worked with what it was because, on site, it makes people smile usually. Mainly at the ridiculousness of it, but that's okay, because, that can be what we were going for. Its aim is only just to capture attention and, I guess, make people laugh. So I'll show you our main advert now. So have a quick screening of this.
PACH! A new generation of powerful customizable speakers. Hundreds of unique houses and casings. That's nice. With connectivity and compatibility, you can take it anywhere. You could use it on a bike. Nice day. Use it with your friends. It's the only speaker worth having.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm showing some comedic elements in that advert there.
Jesus
So I'll just go
Christ.
through a couple of things that were in that. So the music choices for that one were Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back, because it's got quite an upbeat tune, it's quite repetitive, so there's no chances of having to edit around it much. And when it did have to be edited around, you know, it served the advert quite well. And also, to begin with, you had a Vivaldi, a classic Vivaldi, and that was just to bring in the contrast between the two, to suddenly bring, because if you were to hear Vivaldi and then suddenly it turns into Justin Timberlake, you're going to be pretty interested as to what's going on. It's kind of just, it's an interesting, like I said, it's an interesting contrast to bring viewers into it. So that was the main advert, that's what we decided. So we then needed to make that into somehow an apocalypse setting. So we needed to develop that and then make a sponsor advert that was for Sky One's You Mean the Apocalypse. Initially, the advert we made was too long. It was around 50 seconds, which isn't usually acceptable for a sponsor advert. Sponsor adverts are usually between, 10 and 30 seconds at a push. So this was the first one we made. We decided to keep it as an executive cut as such, because it contained some of our best shots that we'd done during this whole project, and then we made a smaller one afterwards that was still coherent in terms of plot, but it was faster and it was more applicable to modern television. So I'll show you the sponsor advert now.
This is the apocalypse event.
Oh, apologies, that's the short one. My bad. This is the...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the apocalypse event.
You forgotten something, PACH speaker. Do you have any speaker worth saving?
So, as you can see, we tried our best to continue the theme between the adverts to make it constant, so that we kept a recognisable brand throughout, because that's almost, the most important bit, to make sure you've got a recognisable brand, because that's how you're going to make more customers and sell more. So, once we were done with the adverts, it came to just making some pop-up adverts, some basic adverts for the internet. There was a third advert, which was just a shorter advert, I'll show you here, just for a
A
shorter
new
advert.
generation of powerful, customizable speakers. It's the only speaker worth having.
So that was just designed for a shorter airing time. So if maybe, depending on how you wanted to market this product, how you wanted to distribute it into television, you might want to go with a pulse. We might want to go with a pulse method or a low burning method, depending on how you want to show this advert. So once we'd done all the filming adverts, it just came to making a pop-up advert, which usually would just be an animation or a GIF, something that would be at the side of a website or that will pop up when you come into a certain area of a browser. So I created two versions of this. I created a version that was still parallel to the current themes we'd used with the comedy and the mascot, and I created another one that was just promoting the brand. So the one promoting the brand is very quick, because obviously this is in video format rather than GIF. There does exist a GIF format, but this one was best for showing you, so I'll put that one on a loop for you. So it was just something attention grabbing that would quickly show the product and our tagline. It was very simple, very fast. And then obviously I have this one, which was a slightly funnier one, a bit more of a spoof to fit with the theme of our speaker. So it's quick, it's fast, it's something that will be in the corner of a web browser. So that's then fitting with the rest of our stuff. So yeah, we went through a lot of different changes to get to what we came to. We had to scrap an entire idea almost, and we went through a lot of things, but that's essentially what we came out with. That's our final product, and that's what we will be presenting with our blog. So if you would like to go ahead and have a little debate about what you thought about it, what you thought was good, what you think we maybe should have kept, what wasn't as good, what maybe could have been edited better, anything you thought about that, any comments you had?
I don't know what to say. It's just so
Anything you thought
random.
about, what you would think about that if you saw that on primetime television, maybe in an advert, or if you saw that on the internet, somewhere you would see it advertised, how you would feel about it and what it would make you feel about the product.
If I had the TV on, like in the background, and I was doing something else, and I heard, you know, the
Without it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think if it suddenly changed into the Justin Timberlake one, it would make me turn around to look at the TV.
It would grab
Yeah.
your
Like,
attention.
yeah, it would,
So
definitely.
you think that would be effective for its
Yeah,
use?
because the way it starts, it just kind of it makes you think it's just some normal kind
Yeah.
of advert, and
Normal
then
advert.
well, you know what I mean.
Mean.
Like,
We're going for something unique, something different
Yeah.
than is out there currently. So, any thoughts on the other music? So we had for the sponsor advert, we had "Ode to Sleep," which was an instrumental version of a 21 Pilots song. The idea with that was that it was quite uneasy. It caused quite a lot of tension.
Wait, which one was that? Oh, the sponsor
that
one?
one, yeah, in the sponsor advert, I'll just play it for you. So that was
one where he was running.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that one was.
it's quite uneasy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sort of, yeah.
And then we cut it into the advert, so it'll kick in a minute and you'll recognise it.
Oh, yeah.
So that was just, again, to get that contrast between music, to kind of bring one theme into another with a snap. So that was having that tense song and then immediately turning into a mascot showing up and the beginning of Justin Timberlake and the end. So were you happy with the overall consistency of the adverts in terms of theme?
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
think you would recognise that as a brand is like, oh, you recognise that mascot is like, oh, that's PACH speakers, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I brought both to you because I wasn't sure which one was best. Which do you think would be most effective as a pop-up advert on a browser or web page?
I thought the one with the speaker was more effective.
The one without the
The one without the mascot, yeah.
so that one was this
One, I think.
Yeah. I prefer that one as well.
Yeah. I suppose it does look a little bit more professional, but it was just something to promote our
Yeah.
speaker quickly. Okay, very, very good, very nice. So yeah, I guess one of the most important questions is now, just to wrap up, is if you saw this advertising campaign on a daily basis, would you consider buying this speaker? Would you consider buying this product?
Yes, I would. I would definitely.
I think I would, yeah.
Fantastic. Right, well, thank you for taking part in this focus group. It means a lot, so hopefully, well, I mean, probably won't be, because it's, only a media studies thing, but here's hoping one day I can have something on the shelves as well like that. So, thank you very much.